8 additional women have joined a lawsuit against the state of Texas because they say they had life-threatening complications after not being allowed an abortion. Good evening, I'm Clarice Tinsley. More than a dozen Texas women are now in a lawsuit against the state's abortion law, which prohibits abortions unless a mother's life is at risk, an exception that is not clearly defined. Fox 4's Alex Boyer joins us with the latest. Alex?
Hi, Clarice. And basically, the plaintiffs are asking the courts to give doctors clarity on what constitutes as an exemption for an abortion in the state of Texas. They also want doctors to be able to use their own medical judgment without fear of prosecution.
Some of the 8 new plaintiffs in the lawsuit told heartbreaking stories of planned pregnancies they were told would not be viable.
But the day after Mother's Day, my water broke. I screamed, and we rushed to the nearest emergency room.
The group of Texas women all said they were unable to get abortions in the Lone Star State despite suffering what they called dangerous pregnancy complications.
The state's confusing new abortion law prevented doctors from treating me.
I was told that if I tried to discharge myself or seek care elsewhere, that I could be arrested for trying to kill my child.
The lawsuit against the state was originally filed in March on behalf of 5 women denied abortions in Texas despite dangerous pregnancy complications, as well as 2 doctors who say they struggle to practice medicine under the abortion ban.
People with pregnancy complications cannot be forced to the brink of death or made to go out of the state to obtain necessary health care.
The Texas ban prohibits abortion unless the mother's life is at risk, which the plaintiffs argue is too vague. Lead attorney Molly Duane says the group is requesting a temporary injunction to address the issue of pregnancy complications.
Despite multiple repeated requests, Texas has done nothing to clarify the scope of its abortion bans.
The central thrust of the case are the exceptions that we have in our current laws against abortion that allow an abortion to be performed if there's an emergency and the health of the mother is endangered.
David Cole is a constitutional law attorney we speak to often. The lawsuit argues that the Texas Constitution protects pregnant people's health and lives, which includes the right to obtain an abortion when facing life or health-threatening conditions, as well as a doctor's right to provide that care. A hearing is expected sometime in July.
Certainly, the more people come forward and say, I have a story, and if their story is similar to other people's stories, then we start to develop the kind of argument that does have some traction legally.
And so David Cole says once that hearing does take place, he expects the judge to rule relatively quickly because this would be a temporary injunction hearing. Again, the goal is, at least for the plaintiffs, to get a temporary injunction put into place to wait and see how the lawsuit ultimately plays out. Again, no exact date has been set as of today.